Please stand for flag salute. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. You're just gonna vote on motion.
Yeah.
The motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second that.
Does anybody have any questions? No? So we can just vote on it? Laura. Oh, sorry. Laura?
Okay, everybody's here. Mackenzie,
Yes.
Tracy,
Yes.
Russ,
Yes.
Jane,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Soren,
Yes.
Cheryl,
Yes.
Christine.
Yes.
Motion carries 7-0.
Any issues? Okay, so. Oh, sorry. Okay, we'll go into the proposed budget. Any questions? Pointing towards anything? Anybody?
Well, I can't read. It's so small. There it is. Zoom meeting. There you go. I know it's on.
Yeah.
I think we can get another one.
It's okay. I don't need it. I'm agreeing.
Okay.
Everything.
I think Soren did, or sorry, I shouldn't say Soren. I assumed somebody did send some questions that Stephanie replied
Yes.
to, and
Yeah.
then an update regarding that. Are there any questions or additional conversation in that space?
No, the reply I got was super thorough,
Yes.
answered everything just exactly as I expected. So we're good.
And then, Cheryl, I know you weren't here in the first one. Do you have any questions, topics you want to go through? So this was, the format was changed to be more of what it was in similar years previous. It was a little more detailed. I think that was what the budget committee was kind of always looking for, a little bit more. So that's been changed, and then gave that feedback to Nancy and Stephanie.
Yeah.
No, I went through it.
Wonderful.
Perfect. Any public comments? Any public comments? I have not had any. Out there? Nope. Board reflection?
I'm just gonna ask the question, yes, so I'm not gonna find the page. Did we move additional funds into a capital
Yes.
an account for savings, right? We did include another 200,000.
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I got that right. I was a little cross-eyed by the time we got there.
It is. Yes.
Okay,
Fine.
that's okay. I trust you. I know we talked about it in length.
Yes.
And so I was like,
Okay.
did I get that correct?
Yes.
And we did get a final answer on summer learning. We did receive the grant, and it's 90,000 each summer.
Okay.
So three summers.
Three
summers.
And that one correction, I'm assuming has been made.
The typo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, from 15,000 to 15,000.
Yeah.
Minor details.
Yes.
Okay. But I don't have any further.
An additional meeting.
If the budget committee wants to approve tonight, take it to the board meeting this evening, we won't need an additional one.
Okay, perfect. Yours good?
I'm good.
Okay. So do we take vote now? You don't have that on.
Yeah.
They're in the vote.
We actually technically voted in the board meeting.
Yeah.
In the board meeting, okay.
Yeah.
So we don't have to do it again, okay.
Don't
But
they
the-
sign this stuff? Because it's the. budget
Oh,
committee.
yeah, that's, you signed that, okay.
That needs to be read to the record.
In the
Yes.
board meeting.
Okay, ready? I got it, okay. The 2026-2027 budget approval resolution. Whereas the proposed budget appropriation as presented to the budget committee of NC School District number 7J on April 20th, 2026 totaled $14,591,021. And be it resolved that the budget committee of Alpine School District Number 7J hereby approves the 2026-2027 budget in the aggregate amount of $14,591,021, and which is now on file in the business office. And be it further resolved, those amounts shown for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, and for the purposes shown are thus hereby approved as set out in the budget document. And be it further resolved that the Budget Committee approves the permanent tax rate of $5.0811 per thousand, to be applied to the total property value as determined by the Benton and Lane County Assessor. I don't need to write the other. Okay. Okay, that is all.
All right. That means that we can adjourn this meeting.
Okay, budget meeting, they all fix those, right?
Just make sure.
Thursday, okay.
Christine, page 67. Is the capital
Thank you.
transfer funds, yeah. Just so you have it.
Thank you. That was the quickest budget meeting we've ever had. It's adjourned. We will move directly into our regularly scheduled board meeting. And you guys are welcome to, I guess, do we need to switch off of this or do we have another Zoom? Or-
I think have the same link.
It's the same link, but if we could take just a small recess so I can get.
Okay, so we'll go ahead and recess for 5 minutes.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Thanks. If
You all are more than willing to, or
For my children.
welcome to stay for the regular meeting. Should be riveting.
So when will
I had to stay late, sorry.
the board that approves the budget?
That's next.
Oh, it's tonight.
Yes, tonight.
Okay.
Yep. So you don't have to come back for another meeting.
Yeah.
Just stay for the table and sit and witness and then be done.
Public comment at the board meeting.
Yeah. Can you turn around and pause us?
Yeah, no means any problem.
Just have to move correctly. Not be upset. All right, we are going to go into publication for our regularly scheduled board meeting this evening, and we'll call it to order at 6:11. I'm going to skip the flag salute since we did that in our budget meeting 11 minutes ago. So with that, are there any amendments or adjustments we need to make to the agenda this evening? I have
Unless,
one.
okay,
I noticed our CTE teacher is on here again, but we approved her last
we did.
board meeting.
Did we
We
last
did.
board meeting?
Uh-huh.
So we can just pull that at the consent time. We don't have to
Yes.
consent to that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Are there any other adjustments to the agenda?
No, but
All right. Then we will approve the agenda, and then I'll ask for a motion for the consent agenda.
I will make a motion to accept the consent agenda with the reduction of Caitlin Schmidt, CTE teacher, as we approved her last time. Other than that, approved as presented.
Thank you.
Second that motion.
Motion and a second. Are there any discussions to be had? All right, Laura, I'll give it to you for a roll call vote.
Sorry,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Russ,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Christine,
Yes.
motion carries 5-0.
Do we have any patron comments this evening?
Good night.
Okay, then we'll go right into our reports. Stacey, you're up first for our superintendent K-12 report.
all right. It's near the end, and I feel like we are still extremely busy. So, which is good, but we do have quite a bit to report on. So, facilities and transportation, wrapping up the WLA contracts. We are also in conversations with reacquiring the Kings Valley Charter Transportation contract. So more details to come on that, but we've been meeting about once a week and coming up with those final administrative fees that we'll be charging.
Is that good for us? or-
It's great for us.
Yeah, that's very.
Mhm.
Where are we at on the reimbursement without and with?
So 90% is as high as the state goes, and we're already there, but we'll stay there. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Let's see, schedule systems, K-12 looking really wrapping up this year, but really looking at planning into next year. Collaboration with the secondary staff to build out that master schedule, expanding and enhancing options for the kids, especially within the electives. So we haven't completely finished up that. So we haven't done the forecasting, but that's all in the next few weeks as we're rapidly approaching the end of the year. State testing for math is our last test to do, and that began this week. Also, iReady, the third diagnostic, began this week. Actually, elementary did some last. And so the June report will have all of those fall to spring growth numbers for you. Inflection, which is that consulting company that I've been working with, they've completed their analysis of the student survey data and the student engagement data, which is attached in here. It's not attached in here, did it?
It's on.
Let's
We
hear.
see it.
Okay, perfect. And then obviously continuing to interview, lots of changes happening, but I'm really excited for next year. I think we have some great change coming our way. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Just because it came up, we saw
Yep.
the basketball coach, her voice got hired. Is football?
So football head
Was that
coach-
resigned? We didn't, I can't remember.
Nope, the assistant, there is not an assistant, so we're hiring for assistants.
Okay, yeah, but the head coach is there.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry, thank you for that.
Mhm. Yes. And I don't know why it's not updated, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's just the Wi-Fi here. It just is.
It's just outdated Wi-Fi. On the inflection, so again, the engagement, the connection, the belonging, some really great data that shows that kids feel like there are adults here who care about them. There's that connection. I think the biggest red flag in all three of those categories is that students don't feel like what they're learning applies to them, or they don't know how it applies to them. And so we're going to start the empathy interviews, which is really taking groups of 2 or 3 kids and you spend an hour with them and you dive into it and you get the narrative of what is going on. Then we take that data and we come back and do PD around that. So how do we make it meaningful for our kids? What's going to engage them? What's going to make them feel like, yeah, what we're doing here actually matters. So that's our next phase. And that will start throughout the rest of this year, but it's really going to carry over into fall as well. But I did love to see the high numbers of just knowing that there are people here who care about the kids. It's great. Under fiscal, obviously, budget season has been extremely demanding and busy. So that's what we've been focusing on within that area. We have put the freeze on spending in order to make sure that any fund balance is as accurate as possible, except for some student body funds and funds that had been encumbered already. Those purchases through graduation and some of those extras are still being spent out. And also just a note, as declining enrollment hits our state school fund, of course, that rolls over into all of our grants as well. So they're all tied to ADM. Discipline data. So this goes from like mid-April through mid-May. 28 trackers. Again, trackers are not necessarily referrals. They're just like, hey, this behavior is happening, noteworthy. And versus 22 last month. So they're improving on their frequency. And you can just look at the breakdown. So language is staying pretty much at 7%. Defiance is huge. Disruption actually decreased. And so did physical aggression. So we're just working on defiance right now. And you can look at the breakdowns through the grades. And other than that, we can't go too much deeper because that will identify students because we have so few. So it's just by grade. I would say a reduction in our out of school suspension and in school for that little 4-week period, which is great. Attendance. Again, it's the high flyers that we're having some trouble with, and we have wrap services for them. And I would say it's the same story. We're making some gains with some, and we still have a lot of work to do on a few others. I would say one challenge we have is it's wonderful that we're busing kids in from quite a distance, but that does create challenges when there are doctor appointments, when there are transportation issues with the family, family medical concerns. They just keep their kids home. Professional development, moving forward with that. Summer and fall, we have some Solution Tree PLC sessions that we're working on, bringing to our team leaders and our administrators. Mountain West Joint PD. So when we were at the AD conference, we had Rob Miller, college basketball coach, who's a college athlete, and now he's a motivational speaker. Our league decided we would love to bring him here. And so all of the leagues are trying to get their staffs schedules aligned, and we'll have him come do a joint PD. So that would be really great. The Kagan conference, which is all instructional excellence, instructional leadership, that's happening in Florida. And we're sending 3 teachers to that, and they'll come back and teach on that week in August. Athletic director and new basketball coaching staff and current basketball coaching staff went to the Nike UNLV clinic this last weekend. 2 of them in person, 2 of them online. And so Talon has some great things to say about it. He just couldn't be here tonight to share that. So lots of learning, really encouraging learning, professional development across all categories here at the school. And then we have some synergy training scheduled this summer. So that's kind of the outlook on professional development. Athletics, we are wrapping up track, and we're still in the thick of baseball and softball, I would say. But teams are doing great, and it's been a little bit challenging not being in charge. I think I'm a control freak, but not being in charge of softball and baseball. You have to wait and get the updates from another school, and they're great, but schools are busy. Sometimes things get missed, and all of a sudden we have kids heading to a game, and then it changes location. And I will say that Keenan's done a great job communicating with all those transportation needs with family and with the staff. So a couple other PDs going. We have volleyball. Eddyville's offered to have some of our students attend their clinic, and they also invited our volleyball coaching staff to attend because it's also a coaching clinic. So that's exciting, and I'm not sure how that's all going to work, but that offer is there. And community engagement, just continuing to build on that. I know that's an area that we're lacking. I don't think we'll ever totally get there, but continuing to offer opportunities for people to come visit with us, share ideas, be involved in the branding of our school and where our vision is going. I know that Sarah Littlefield, our liaison for the McKinney-Vento and all of that, she's really been doing a good job bringing in families and outside resources. So that health fair was amazing. And so kudos to her. But we'll just continue to offer all of those opportunities. And then the last one is the International Travel Club. That information night will be Wednesday, and kind of getting a lot of hype going around that. So that is everything for the last few weeks.
I just have one quick question. With our reflection data,
Yeah.
we are looking at some interviews that are underway,
Yes.
for new position. It just kind of drew my eye to the middle school, high school English teacher. We haven't posted for that, right?
We have now.
We have now
Yes, we
posted
have
for it,
now.
but
Mhm.
that's just like we're prepping, we know we're gonna have a new teacher there, but we're hiring. Okay.
Yes.
I was just like, kind of looking at that going, well, we've had unfair in the past, we've
Yes.
done things a little backwards. I wanted to make sure we were calling that out, that we were doing it the right way.
Yes, we are doing it the right way.
Those other two positions are filled.
Yes.
Yeah, I think honestly, it's been rapid fire.
Yeah.
When we started building this, and
Absolutely.
they're hired, and even the last one was just
Can't imagine.
accepted a few days ago. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, then we will go into our enrollment report. Laura, anything of significance to call out for this one?
Lose one, get one. It's just, in that regard, though, it is nice
Mhm.
that you lose some and you think, oh no, and then more come down the pike. So.
Well, and we had a conversation, two different districts. I've been on a couple meetings with superintendents from other districts. Just through our networking at conferences, sharing that we have this Learn at Home program, and they're very interested in how we can help serve some of their kids that aren't being served at their district. So I won't name those districts yet, but
Mhm.
it's in the works.
All for the kids, right?
Yep.
Okay. And then next is regular attenders. Anything of note in that space besides that everybody probably has spring fever at this point?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Band students.
yeah, and there is still a strain going around that's causing some sickness. So.
Okay.
Wait,
Thanks, Barbara.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that. Heather, you are up for our Learn at Home report this evening.
All right. Good evening, everyone. So Learn at Home's chugging along. We're having a great time. We have our Treehouse t-shirts that are at the printer, and then I'll be sending them out from down here in Southern Oregon to everybody. These are custom made individual treehouse designs that the kids made, so they're all very excited about that. Like Stacy mentioned, we have our district and state testing going on this month with math, and then our diagnostic 3 and iReady. So we'll have all of that information and data for you soon. Let's see, a big one for Learn at Home is our instructional model update for 26-27. So in thinking about the feedback that I'm getting and questions from families, like who's going to be our teacher next year? What's happening with this, this and that. We came up with a really wonderful idea that's going to give students the opportunity to be with all of our teachers in the day. So we're going to go based on content, academic content. So one of our teachers is going to be from 2nd to 7th grade covering the ELA. Another teacher is covering math, and then another teacher is going to be doing our social studies, science, and health. We are all very excited about that. The last bit of that is that our K-1 students, we feel it's necessary for them to stay with the same teacher. They're little, and it would be probably pretty overwhelming. So Ms. Waverick's going to continue with that, but we are all very, very excited. Schools doing research, schools that have shifted to this model have seen a lot of gains. Teachers tend to be more like, okay, I can get to all of my content. And so we're really excited for that. It's different for us online because of our schedule during the day. So we want to maximize every single minute we have with our kiddos. So that's a big deal. Our trip to the Tulip Farm was amazing and wonderful. It was so fun to see all of the kids in person that came, and there was only one kid that was at our so anyways, we had all different kids this time. So and it was just really, it was a lot of fun. So we are going to be creating a year, like the school year calendar of the different get-togethers for next year, now that we have all this momentum and kiddos that are and families that are willing to drive and do these meetups. It was a lot of fun. And Laura and Stacy were also there, and we also had Mr. Cedarland there, which was a big deal for all of the kids. So that was great, and families were talking and getting together. We also have two parents now that are trained to be subs. So the last couple months when we had one of our IAs out for her leave, we had one of our parents who was trained, and she had already previously had experience as a SPED IA in a district. So she came right in and supported students. And now we have another mom who has gone through the whole TSPC piece to do regular subbing, which is just it's a huge benefit. And they are very familiar with our school and how it works. And so it's a really wonderful thing. We had a really wonderful teacher and staff appreciation. In the online, we did our tradition of having the kids and parents write in, and then we have a big appreciation album, and all of that it was a lot of fun. So we're, yes, getting to the end of the school year, but taking every single minute. We're not counting the days left. We're counting the opportunities we have left with our kids. So I'm very proud of Learn at Home for that. Any questions?
I have a question about the instructional model.
Yes.
Just historically, up through grade 5, kids have always had one teacher. And so I'm just curious about what changed to make us start having, I get that it will give the better content mastery for the teachers and the kids should learn a lot more. But like, what changed that made us want to actually do this? Is it just a case of like, why have we been doing it this way all along? Let's try something different.
Well, it's such a good question. I'm glad you asked. So we have combined classes right now with our K1, 2, 3. We have a 4, and then we have a 5, 6. And so when I was looking at numbers for next year, if we kept with the same model, teachers being the single teacher for that grade level or that combo class, we could possibly have a teacher that has significantly higher numbers in their class than others. And so this way, the responsibility for all of these students lies on across equally all of those teachers. When I talked with the teachers about it, they're really excited. So Miss Bauer, Mr. Cedarland, and Miss Dapkus, we talked about what their strengths are in terms of academic content, and it landed really well. Like each of these are their passion subjects. And that tends to be a thing with elementary teachers. I have to admit, I was an elementary teacher, and not all of the subjects that I had to cover were my passion, but I still made my kids think that it was, everything was exciting for me. How I am. But this way, we're going to see vertical alignment a little bit deeper. Teachers will know what comes next. They'll be able to support their students in kind of like a deeper way. So in the process of all of this, trying to make a lot of things come together, this instructional model I think is going to be really a great welcome. And then the feedback we're getting from families, they're super excited. And the other piece of it, one more piece, is that we have had that village concept the last couple of years with our exploratory classes. And so all of our students are very familiar and comfortable with all of our teachers. So this is like a big deal for all of them.
I want to follow up on that one, Heather, actually, just really quick. You mentioned, and I'm glad you mentioned this, the combined classrooms. So the 2, 3, 4, 5, those combined classrooms. Will that model kind of change? So will it be like second graders have second grade math and second grade social studies, and third graders get third grade math? Like, is that the model, or is it still like 2, 3 will be together for math and 2, 3 together be for social studies?
Okay, and I'll let you in. My biggest goal is that we have this huge registration bump, and add in extra teachers. However, I have to account for a few things. So this year, our kiddos, even though they're in combo classes, they get grade level content focused classes. So our second graders will go into the teacher a different time than the third graders do for ELA and math and social studies and science. So those things are not as comboed as it sounds. And we have that luxury because we're online. So the kiddos that are in the other grade, not doing the live class at that time, can be working on things asynchronously, and then they pop in when the shift happens. So what we're going to do is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because we're adding on, and this is the other piece, we're adding on the next grade level. So if we remain with 4 teachers, we're pretty much capped at 7th grade being our max that we can combine. And so that's kind of like where we're at right now until we can add another teacher in based on registration, which is the goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I was just curious about it.
Are there other schools that have this model, or are we kind of like piloting this thing? Is there any data that supports this direction?
Yeah, and I can send that. I probably should have added that in. I apologize. So I'll make a note of that and add it into the next one. But yeah, this is not my my idea at all. This happens in other schools, and they shift to this to see if it works for their community. And it's positive data. Teachers have more command of that, whatever that academic content. They have that more responsibility piece, and they can dive deeper into it. The other pieces is that during the day, elementary school teacher, and it's challenging to get to all of the subjects in one day, and you really want to, but sometimes you go a little bit more on this one than that. And so this also gives that dedicated time for those teachers to go into that without having to, manage all of the other subjects as well.
Great.
Yeah,
Excited.
and I will, if you want the data before the next meeting, I can do that. I can share that somehow and
I
get it
just
to you.
think be prepared to ask any questions if people have it. So knowing that it is, not just us piloting something fun to try, that there's good data behind it. I'm good. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited, and we're flexible where, say it just completely is horrible, we can flexibly change and move things around. But I have the teachers, the parents, everybody seems to be really on board and excited about this transition. So we'll see how it works. But like I said, we're very flexible and adaptable if we have to make changes, and I'll make sure to get all of that data. I apologize for not having that tonight.
No need
Don't
to
apologize.
apologize. No need to.
You never know where questions are going to take you. There's no way to prepare.
Yes, that's true. I appreciate the questions. It helps me dive deeper myself into better understanding. So thank you.
Any other questions? Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much, Ms. Shunk.
Thank you.
We'll move into our financial board report for May. See, that's me.
Well, nothing huge and new other than the budget, which, as Stacy said, we've been working time and time again on that one. I do have to say that my little smiley face looks like an Oreo. So that is supposed to be an emoji. But anyway, I can't quit looking at the Oreo there. That's really all I've got. I don't have any big changes. Stacy mentioned the summer learning grant that was 90,000 instead of the 200,000 asked for, but I think the 90,000 is going to make a good impact anyhow. So that was good. I've been hearing a lot of chatter with the teachers about how excited they are to apply for grants, and they've been looking at things to help the students, and nothing like significant at the moment, but it's been really neat to just hear their little chatter about how excited they are to be here and be a part of all of this. So that's been fun. I just had to comment on that, how they're excited to see what they can apply for and help the students. So that's been fun. Yeah. Just again, monitoring our MOE, making sure that ends well, and making sure that all of our funds are coded properly, just doing a lot of cleanup. We're at the end of the year, so there's nothing significant going on other than the budget.
Any questions? All right, thank you. Safety committee report. Laura?
Okay, so we haven't had our meeting yet to be able to put it in there, but I did want to share with you Nathan Cortez from WHA for risk management. They come twice a year in the spring and in the fall to just kind of do a walk around, looking for safety concerns. And I attached the things that he found. You'll notice like a large percentage of them are in the science room, and I'm going to help Miss Uten this summer inventory and get all that caught up to what he wants it to be. So
I took a look at this. I feel like, and I could be off base, please correct me. I feel like our gates have been cited multiple times. Is there a way, do we have a plan for that? Is that a conversation for the safety committee? Let me rephrase that.
It has been numerous emails out to the staff, close the gates. Whenever I walk, whenever I have to walk out to Mr. Roberts's room, if the gate's open, I don't care if they're in the weight room or not. I close it because it's supposed to be closed. Boiler room doors constantly. It's very frustrating.
This impacts our insurance, correct? No,
they're not gonna like fine us or increase any rates, but it's constant. It's the reminders, gentle reminders. These are areas that are risks, right? You do not address them.
Yeah. Okay.
And other than removing the gates and just putting fence, I think maybe more frequent reminders because we do remind and then it's better for a little bit and then people get comfortable.
There's like the front one that just, you can't close it.
You have to lift up on it.
We had talked this summer about having that replaced.
So there are things in progress.
Yes.
Any other questions? I will just say thank you for presenting that report because I think it shows a lot of transparency also. Well, with that, you guys, we get to move right into new business. And the first thing on new business is our 2026-27 proposed budget approval. Stacy, can I give that do you want me to present on that or I need the resolution.
The resolution, yeah. Got that.
Laura, I need that resolution. Yes, that will purpose. So the budget committee has met in 2 sessions. Second one being very concise. But the budget committee came to agreement and the budget committee chair signed off and superintendent signed off on the budget approval resolution. So with that, I will read the resolution and then we'll go look for a motion. So Alsea School District number 7J, 2026-2027 budget approval resolution. Whereas the proposed budget appropriation as presented to the budget committee of Alsea School District number 7J district on April 20th, 2026 totaled $14,591,021. And be it resolved that the budget committee of Alsea School District number 7J hereby approves the 2026-2027 budget in the aggregate amount of $14,591,021, and which is now on file in the business office. And be it further resolved, those amounts shown for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2026, and for the purposes shown are thus hereby approved as set out in the budget document. And be it further resolved that the budget committee approves the permanent tax rate of $5 and 5.0811 cents per thousand to be applied to the total property value as determined by the Benton and Lane County assessors. Is there a motion to consider?
I motion to approve the 2026-2027 budget approval resolution as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there further discussion? All right, Lauren, a roll call vote.
Okay, Soren? Yes. George?
Yes.
Russ?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
And a special thank you to the volunteers that joined us for the budget committee and put their time aside for that. So thank you to everybody for that. All right, next is our superintendent evaluation summary. So our process to evaluate the superintendent takes solely in place in executive session, and then a summary is presented on those findings and outcomes. So I'm going to read this into record. If the board approves, then we will scan it into record. So, superintendent evaluation summary report for Ms. Stacy Nutson on May 11th, 2026. The LC School Board of Directors finds that Superintendent Stacy Nutson has received strong overall ratings across all 8 professional standards, reflecting significant progress and effective leadership throughout the evaluation period. The board recognizes the superintendent as a strong visionary leader, provides clear direction aligned with district priorities, and is actively working to rebuild and strengthen the district. She was commended for her ethical leadership, transparency, and professionalism, consistently modeling high expectations while supporting staff and student growth. It is noted that Ms. Nutson is strengthening an inclusive district culture by elevating student voice and implementing supportive systems, with the board acknowledging that this work is progressing but still developing. Instructional leadership efforts were also highlighted, particularly initiatives promoting culturally responsive practices and peer-to-peer evaluations. While implementation varies across classrooms, the board expressed confidence in the direction and continued progress. Communication and community relations receive a high rating of approval, with the board recognizing strong accessibility, transparency, and presence at school and community events, while also noting opportunities for continued growth. Organizational management was rated highly, with the superintendent demonstrating adaptability, strong operational leadership, and a focus on student needs and district stability. Financial management also received a strong rating, reflecting meaningful improvements in budgeting, alignment of resources, and pursuits of grants, while acknowledging that the superintendent inherited a budget created prior to her arrival. Policy and governance work was rated highly, with the board noting strengthened policy maintenance, transparency, and strong working relationships. Progress towards district goals was also noted. For Goal 1, the superintendent has made strong progress on the engagement plan, including district events, community sessions, and quarterly surveys, contributing to improved visibility and trust building. For Goal 2, the board recognized significant advancement in implementing a district-wide RTI framework, including tiered systems, daily interventions, and embedded PLC collaboration, with the framework viewed as established or nearing full implementation. Overall, the evaluation reflects strong leadership, meaningful progress, and continued momentum towards district improvement and long-term system development. LC School Board of Directors. So the board at this point can make adjustments or amendments. Stacy does get to have a say in what goes into her summary and designation as well. So, but this is not a time to reflect on that necessarily as we would in an executive session. So are there any, did I capture everything correctly?
I will make a motion to approve the superintendent evaluation summary report as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. There's a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Does a pretty good job of capturing pretty much exactly what spent a lot of time hammering out.
Yeah. Thank you for all your hard work.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Laura, roll call vote.
George?
Yes.
Soren?
Yes.
Russ?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
Christine?
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Next up is our LC charter renewal.
So spoke with Kristen Miles, and you guys through the email all supported that we move forward with that limited timeline adjustment. That is fine because our district and school are one and the same. So we don't have to do that 180-day timeframe. What we're working on now is reformatting to make sure that the charter that's in place is updated, and that will be presented in the June meeting. And then we can vote on it. We need to make adjustments we can, but otherwise vote on that in the June meeting. But I will have that to you before the June meeting so you can review it. And that's all that's left.
And you don't need to vote this evening. This is
Yeah,
information.
just more, yeah, just so you know that we are meeting the deadline of June 30th and we are basically right on it.
I think there was a topic just to make note for your thoughts while you're doing this, as I think I heard at one of our meetings to have some interest in credentialing, making sure that there's sound practices for credentialing of our staff. So that,
Okay.
make sure we review
Yes.
that section thoroughly. That would be great.
Yeah, because when this charter, when Elsie first became a charter, there were verbal promises made to the community about
Yes.
teacher credentialing. It didn't make it into the charter. It's one of those things that maybe we need to make sure we're not promising things that we're not.
We can't.
I mean, we don't want to back ourselves into a corner.
Right. And I do know that Kristen had shared that maybe there were some concerns the way it was written originally, but maybe the last time you renewed it under last administration, a lot of updates had been made that were needed. But we're going to go through that all now. And then she had just written one for Helix School District. And that one's, she said it's one of the best. And so we have that as a template as well to make sure we're covering all of the components that we need to cover.
Yeah, the last administration, we had discussed doing a full evaluation of it.
Okay.
Then at the end, we're like, let's just make it at least be legal.
Yes.
And I think they just made it legal and
Okay.
nobody ever really looked at it super carefully.
So I mean, it's not that, I don't know, turnaround's pretty quick for the next meeting. So I will get that out to you within the next week and a half. As long as
I have
week
faith.
and a half would be great. And then that way it gives you a little bit of
2 weeks is
time.
probably fine.
Yeah.
Like, let's be realistic. There's a lot going on here.
There is a
Although
lot.
yeah. So, I have a couple questions.
Yes.
Can we modify in between renewing? Can we bring it back up?
I think you can give feedback. So I could share. But I wonder if we could put it in as a Google Doc and share it. And so you could give active feedback. And then when we present it in June, that's, public comment can happen then and then we can approve.
And so, like, if we approve in June and we decide, like, okay, in September, we actually really want to reopen this again, is that something you can do in that that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I got you. So before or after the June adoption.
Yeah, like we adopt it and then we say, we actually wanted to do a little more research on a section.
Let me ask Kristen.
Okay.
I don't know if you have to wait
Till the next renewal. The reason I asked that is one of the conversations that came up was we have a lot of students that come in and we are not their whole district.
Right.
Where they're transferred in district. And so is it reasonable to say if we expect there to be an 80% attendance rate or 75% attendance rate? And what does disciplinary action look like and how we're not dismissing you as a student. We're just saying this isn't your home district. Because, maybe you need to go back to your home district, get your ducks in a row, and then we can try that again or whatever it looks like. Now, that might be too much to put on for this one. And so that's why that question is, well, if we want to make stronger language in students that are not, if this is not their home district, but they're transferred into district, is there something in that space?
Let me look through that.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's good info.
It's a 4-year charter or 2?
3, yeah.
Three.
Mhm.
Oh, right in between. Wow,
Yeah.
really paying attention.
And I don't know if there are, if we have to stick with 3, is that what?
I just remember the last time it was about attendance with the numbers for the online and the brick and mortar and all that. But it didn't seem like that was 3 years ago. It seemed like that was-
Well, I know with Krista, we were talking about redoing this and
it just
disappeared.
Yeah,
We never heard about it again.
that's
And
probably what happened.
Christine thought I emailed you because it showed up on the agenda because I had just said, our charter's expiring.
Yeah.
So we need to do
Yeah.
something.
And Chris and I had been going back and forth and she just kept saying it's because at Eddyville, because we were a separate school within the district.
Yeah.
It was really harsh timelines and it was like December and then January. So I kept asking, I'm like, we're missing something. It's March, it's April. And she's like, no, it's different because you're your own district.
Okay.
And I don't want to delay it. Obviously, delaying it would be out of compliance. So we don't need to do that. I just think that I think we've heard feedback overall around the credentialing of staff, making sure we have good credentials or that we're hiring to that best level. And then also that we're taking in students that want to be here for the right reasons and educating and things like that. Well, we also want to have those same standards for our home district students as well.
Right. I think those are all valid.
Thank you for that update. All right, next is our Kings Valley busing contract.
Yes, so I mentioned this briefly in my report, and it looks like Diana Barnhart is here, and maybe also Mark Hazelton. They can answer some questions as well, but we are in the negotiation of set up. We'll have a formal presentation in June for that because we just are not ready, still in the discussion phase. But we would be taking everything on 100%, the busing, all of the insurance, their employees, just like we did with WLA. So it's just adding another, and then they would pay an administrative fee for all of the state reporting, OD, all of those pieces, managing paperwork, the daily records, all of those. And that sounds like it was done. I know it was done in the past.
I would, for my personal preference, I'd like to see the difference in contracts that come forward. So the previous contract versus this contract. So I was like, when we get to that point, I'd like to be able to just look at that.
Yep. I don't know if you have any.
Sorry, a financial thing at the beginning, like, wait, do we have to buy their buses at the start?
Yes, and it's very limited. And Diana, if you want to jump in on any of this, you sure can. They only have 60 grand on their buses.
Hi, good evening. Yes, we have a very small lease on 3 of our buses, and roughly $60,000. So not a large investment, and we own several of our other buses. So we would, and we haven't completely worked out the details yet on the transfer of the lease, and as far as moving forward with Alcee purchasing them, are you going to be able to work with our current lease company, or what those details will look like yet?
Can I ask a logistical, possibly operation question? Sorry. Is this from the superintendent for the contracting side of it, or is our transportation coordinator playing a role?
All in it. So
All of us,
yeah, the business manager, everyone. And same with them. All meeting.
Forgiveness might cross into operational, but I just want to make sure that we're being mindful and protective of our staff's true ability to handle this, not overloading anybody with anything.
Okay.
And then I guess the other question I had was in that contract, or like in the informational summary of things. It sounds like the leases are about 60,000 left in those leases. But what I'd like to know also is when new buses are going to be needed per guidelines and things like that. And then where does that conversation come in? So just maybe in the summary space, I'd like to hear about that financial budget piece.
Right. We did provide the maintenance, the annual maintenance, and shows evidence of how the buses have been cared for. They are mostly very new buses, so hopefully we wouldn't be in the position to purchase new buses for several years.
Well, thank you. I didn't know you'd have it off the cuff. I figured I'd get it in a summary next time. Thank you.
We can get those documents to each of them. Yeah, so.
I want to start with the negotiation process. So. Any other questions? Okay. Well, we'll hear more about that next month.
Thanks, Diana.
Thank you for being here. All right, International Travel Co-op.
Yes, so Wednesday night we will have our first meeting, and this initial trip, this one will open. It is a 9-day. It was a 10-day. We're trying to get the cost down just a little bit, but it's to London, Paris, Rome, and Florence, and it's any high school student. Their parents could also do the background checks and go as well. And it's really just an opportunity to get a cultural experience outside of Alcee, Oregon. We know that I've been on a lot of senior trips over the years of teaching, and I remember some kids, like, you were one of them. but some of the kids in that class had never even been on a plane before, you know, and which is great and fine. But if we can create some opportunities for these kids to go explore the world, the learning that happens is just incredible. And so I know that I worked before with EF, and they're a great, super well-respected company, and they do all the tour, I guess, components. I'm sorry, my brain is really tired tonight. They have everything planned out. They guide, they speak the languages at every country that we go to. Every single detail is in place from the time we hit the airport, get off, go to the lodging, all the trains, all the events that we go to, everything's covered, the lodging, the meals, all the tips. There's a cooking class in Italy that's planned along with this, and just, of course, all the sites. So we are going to have an informational session, and I'm working with this rep to put together the slideshow, and that'll be Wednesday night. So far, it sounds like we have 12 people signed up to come. So that would be great. And I'm just excited to bring it to FC.
What is the cost?
It is just under 5,000.
So would there be like a,
Oh, fundraising galore?
no, I know, would there be like I mean, when we did this in high school, it was like with our German class or with our French class,
Gotcha.
right? There was like an educational component for the year before you went.
Mhm.
So would there be, for the students that decide to go, some kind of tailored education to that trip? Like
At this point, no, it truly is supposed to be just
a fun trip?
a fun cultural experience. But I haven't even had a chance to talk to Mr. Roberts, but I think we could definitely tie it in to his classes. I just know it happens at the end of the year. Summer's already in session, so it's more of a pleasant opportunity. But it could be tied in for sure. Yeah.
Do you need chaperones?
And honestly, yes. I mean, people can sign up. We all have to raise the money. There are some scholarship opportunities. She's going to talk about this at the meeting on Wednesday. They have a whole system in place. They set up links for you, so you can do almost a GoFundMe. Kids can go, send that out on social media. Have some ideas for group fundraising. We could just split that evenly. I do think there are some cultural grant opportunities out there, so reaching into those. And
What an opportunity for our children to learn grant writing.
What a skill.
I'm not learning, actually.
And my goal would be that we do this once in a kid's high school career, and then the next 2 years would be raising for a domestic one. And so we could kind of just keep flip-flopping, and then they do them all over the world. But, that's hopeful. That's where we're at. I guess my only question is this something that's tied to the school, or do we want this completely optional? This is just a club that's put together. Most schools have it as part of their school. And you guys, thank you for all the feedback, just individually, that you gave me.
I mean, tied to the school, does that bind us to disadvantaged students being able to go at no cost? Or limited
No.
cost? I mean, is it,
If the cost is set, no matter
so
what.
tying it to the school is the benefit of what exactly?
To be honest, I don't know, other than it's a promotion, like look what the school offers their kids.
Oh, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
that's not cheap, right?
Parents might be more accepting of this sort of thing if it's run through the school rather than being something else that the school says.
I'm all for having an educational component that
Yeah.
like preempts the trip with mandatory learning. Like, I think that's my vehicle of tying it to the school. You may not be able to do that for this upcoming year, but I think, to maximize, I've been to all these countries, every city on this list, many more. But I think there's so much more to the trip when you actually learn about those areas and cultures at a time, instead of just running around, the streets and being crazy like you are. Depending what age you are too, like, so you're opening it to any high school student, right? Like, I mean, I don't know. 14, 15 versus 17, there's a big difference. And well, there's just a difference in individual students as well. But
Yeah.
Anyway, I support it. I just didn't know what tying it to the school was a good thing, I guess.
Are there liability concerns with tying it to the school? We
I mean,
paid on some sort. I mean, obviously there's insurance and stuff.
and insurance is all through EF. And I will reach out to Pace and see what other parameters that we need to have in place, but.
I think my only question with tying it to the school is what kind of staffing do we have to tie to it to facilitate and lead and, you know, most clubs have a leader that gets a stipend or, if it's through the school, somebody needs to be an advisor
Yeah.
or, you know,
Mhm.
I don't know that that's one more thing I want to add to your list. And
Obviously
just
you're going.
capacity, right?
Obviously, you're going. So,
I'm just thinking capacity wise, just making sure that we're mindful because we're already asking staff to do a lot. So I'm a huge proponent. I want to bring all these fun, amazing things. I just want to be mindful of capacity and funding and the financial burden of all of the above. So
And if it is a club ran outside the school, it's ran by them, correct?
It's all right by then. Yes.
So,
so if it's part of the school, does that mean the chaperone staff get paid to go by school?
Yeah.
I could just give insight from our trip
Yes.
because it's got to be similar.
It's the same company.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So my class, when I was in my senior year, we went to DC and New York through this company. We took one chaperone for my class. I mean, granted, we're a class of 6, but
Yeah.
but we only took our social studies teacher with us. And they have usually other schools that go with you. And they have a bunch of people that it's not running around on the streets. It's here's what we're doing. We're all in a line. We're all together. So there's no kids gonna get lost. There's no super organized. Literally, like she said, second you're at the airport till you get home, every single minute is planned out. So no liability, they have it all covered. Yeah, sorry. I just wanted to give a little bit of insight.
I think my opinion on that is I don't have a preference on whether it's school ran or club ran, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's what works best for our school to provide the opportunity to the students. If we find as we've gotten into it and experience like, oh, we want to run this a little differently, then let's do it differently. You know what I mean? I think that's
I think the only thing I can see perspective, if it's part of the school and you have 10 kids sign up and one kid raises $6,000 and one kid raises $1,000, is how are you going to differentiate the ability to raise money and fund the trip?
Yeah.
If it's an actual school program. If it's an extracurricular, it's kind of easier to separate that to, well, it's your responsibility to pay or raise the money.
Right.
I really do come down on the finance side of it because anytime you say the school is sponsoring this, then you get you just have to be very black and white, whatever it looks like up front.
And I think a school extracurricular, the club, I think that makes it a little bit different. Just like basketball, they're going to have to raise money for new uniforms if they want new uniforms or they want to go on a special trip. And I do know that this sends a link. So each family has their own link and they can set up monthly payments or they can do quarterly payments, however they want to do it. But all of it has to go through that. So nothing goes through the school.
Yeah. So it really is like, I don't know. Whatever you want to do, Stacey.
Good points. Okay.
I'm all about opportunity. I don't really know that.
we want the
anyone will
opportunity.
know. I don't know that anyone will know if it's attached to the school.
Yeah.
And it's on this board.
Right.
Really.
Okay.
back and watch.
Well, there's one person in town that does. I know that for sure.
Well, yeah, I think there's our guidance. You don't need to vote
No, I
on this
love it.
one
Thank
tonight.
you. I just wasn't sure where everyone stood. So, and we'll see who all shows up on Wednesday and, if there's even an option.
Awesome, Stacey. All right, the last time on our new business is our local service plan to the 25-27 fall update. So I think this is our LPL, not states, sorry, this is our LPL adoption, correct?
Tier 1, tier 2.
It's tier 1, tier 2, and really we've changed a few things on moving to Apogee, so we're not paying for the website and all of those pieces. So that's coming off of there, which is great. And a couple other, and I forget it, Clever, and there's one other, and I can't remember the name. But anyway, it's a savings of about 14,000-ish, 15,000. And then the new app website and all the messaging is $8,900 a month. So it is a savings. So that is changing. And then our behavior support specialist, who's here one day a week right now, He was through a grant and that has expired. And so we will not have him next year, but we do have him kind of like on a retainer, I guess. I don't know how to say it. We can hire him to support us. He knows our kids. He knows our system. If we had a BSAT, a level 1 or a level 2.
Remind me of those are.
Behavior
Right.
threat assessment.
Okay, threat assessments. Yeah. And so hopefully those are few between, and then we can hire him to come in and do that probably.
It's just like a service
So
contract.
it's just a service contract.
Okay.
Mhm. Whereas this year he was actually here 1 day a week.
And would you rather have that service contract through our current staff member or go through ESD or like?
So that's, it's all one and the same.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay.
And so other than that, really not much changed. I mean, we have our SLP services, we have our OT, PT, all of those services are pretty basic, and synergy, all of those components, the professional development that goes with that. We do have the science of reading that is an option, and we're going to bring that in next fall. And that's part of our tier 1. So
I would love to see behavior supports land in the tier 1 services because behaviors is one of the number 1 problems across the 8 districts. So that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I feel like having somebody around all the time to get stuff early before it becomes.
That seems like it was. I'm talking
thing
all
with-
districts would benefit from it, not.
I get it.
right. The specialist though really doesn't deal with behaviors. That's our job.
Gotcha.
He was here to support outreach and support if there was a threat assessment, making sure that we went through the supervisor model appropriately.
Gotcha.
Well, and to that point, this is what's voted on between all districts.
Yes, it
And
is.
some districts have the funds to pay for that out of there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's unfortunate.
We do need a motion on this one.
Mm.
Let's see.
I would just, here's a reminder that according to that policy, which I can't remember in my head right now, all service contracts do fall under the board to approve. So there probably should at some point be a amount of money authorized for that service contract if needed. I would just review the policy.
It's all within the budget. It's broken down in those different funds.
I know, but that one sentence about service contracts, I would just
Got you.
take a look at it. We might
Yeah.
have changed that policy when we changed some other things, but
We did.
it just has that stipulation specifically for all service contracts fall under the board
Yes, yes,
for a vote
yes.
approval.
Mhm.
And so I just to keep us out of the weeds down the road, I don't think we need it right now, but for the next school year, we just might want to make sure
Yes.
And we can
I
go.
wish I could remember. It's on my laptop, but the battery dies.
I
I
should remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know we did, or you did. I did. on my
We all
own.
did, yeah.
I think that is actually something that you can write today for the board to approve as an as needed. And so there's a pricing component in that space, and then it's as needed. So there's not necessarily a cap on it unless you put a cap in that space or whatever that looks like. But we can look at that too.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I might be able to just be the board approves a service contract
at
for
this,
open
at
ended
this rate
service
of
contract.
pay,
Yeah.
not to exceed this amount before going back to the
Right.
board of a situation. So that might be something. And then it's just to your point, Russ, kind of on the up and up and just makes that done.
Yes.
Okay. All right, there, so we do still need a motion on this LBL ESD service contract.
No, I lost it. Someone else. I can't hear you.
Need a motion.
I just don't have. My thing was diagnosed.
I make the motion to approve the LBL ESD service contract 25-27 fall 2025 revision as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion is made and seconded. We've had some discussion. Any further discussion? All right, Laura, roll call vote, please.
Soren,
Yes.
George,
Yes.
Jamie,
Yes.
Russ,
Yes.
Christine.
Yep.
Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, thank you. We have no old business. We have a slew of new policies that OSBA has presented to us. I'm correct in that space. OSBA presented these to us. And then additionally, we were provided the summary of the information of each of these updates. And so, I just Does anybody have any first reading questions they want to bring up tonight?
Mm-hmm. On all the pages, it's marked 4 of 26. Does that need to possibly reflect 6 of 26 if that's when we're adopting them? Or even 5 of 26 since we're
It
in
will
May?
change to 6 when it's adopted.
Okay.
I think OSB
Once-
actually goes
yeah.
out and does that.
Once you guys do your
That-
second
I
read
just
and
noticed
it's
it's
out,
highlighted it almost
then
everywhere.
I send it with the date of the meeting that it was approved
Okay.
to OSBA and they write all that up.
I just had a little tough time. They didn't really highlight the changes.
I know.
On some of them, they didn't very well.
Yeah, but I didn't have this until. Because I was like trying to read them and like, I can't read all these pages and look for the word change. I know one, I saw it right away in the title, but
Right.
like,
Right.
On
government.
EBB, or excuse me, let's look at 7S. Page 2,
Obviously Jamie was able to do it.
and right after number 12, it says, what position is being delegated in that box?
Sorry.
Seven, yeah.
Yeah, we have to add who's gonna.
There's a position delegation that's not listed.
Oh, the district show. So that will be our
That should be
EM
your
manager, which is
maintenance.
maintenance.
Okay. And when do we anticipate that plan and list of chemicals is to be presented to us?
So every 5 years, I don't remember.
Right, but when does this, when are we implementing this? When is this?
So it's honestly going to take a month or two, I would think, throughout the summer, get that locked in,
Okay.
and then
Start it
in
next
there.
school year.
Yeah, I
Okay.
know that, I'm forgetting Michael Lammers, who I work with at ODE on all of these plans that we finally just got updated this year.
Okay.
I can reach out to him and find out the deadline on that.
Okay.
I think as long as you're making progress, that's how he's treated everything else
Mhm.
this year. He's like, look, you guys, Elsie's making progress. You guys are getting in compliance. Awesome.
Okay.
Mhm.
My other question that I have noted, have a delete of 7T, the GAAG1 delete. It's the personnel definitions. I'm curious why we're removing it. I personally find that that's potentially beneficial to people that don't speak our lingo and understand who's what's and what's responsible for what. So I'm just curious why it's being deleted without a replacement.
So it's on page 4. We didn't have this previously. The personnel definitions is on here.
Does it say why it's being removed?
This is just a recommendation. It's not required, so we don't have to. If that's something the board wants to be.
I mean, it does impact our collective bargaining agreement, so we have to make sure, it's like one more thing we have to keep up to date essentially in that space.
So as language has changed, we have to make sure to.
And then if OSBA is saying that they suggest deleting it, they're not going to update us on, they're not going to update it. So I think that's the risk we run, but if it's the risk, we should say, and I think this is where Stacey, I think you have a lot of guidance in this space. While the board adopts policy, you have to uphold it. And so if there's something there that you feel like puts you at risk as superintendent or something's not there, that makes it hard for you to do your job. If the board,
In all
so I just want
reality,
to make sure that you feel supported in that space too, to have an opinion to say, no, I prefer this be deleted or keep it or whatever that looks like.
And I do tend to trust OSBA and all of their lawyers who are trained in this. And when legislature makes changes, OSBA, their law team is on it, interpreting that, and then giving guidance to the school districts across the state. I'm not a lawyer, so I definitely am thankful for these people because I do put a lot of trust in them because I have so many other pieces here that I am more of an expert on that. I love that they are putting this into our laws for us.
And I think that when they use that terminology in other policies, they tend to define those within the policy with a little footnote or something.
well,
I don't know if that's.
refer to statute. I mean, they obviously are going to refer to statute. I'm seeing here, like there was a recent change in the definition of a contract teacher.
Well, I think also, Stacey, am I incorrect in this space? Didn't legislation? I think so. They changed it. So all of these processes don't apply to a licensed teacher anymore. They apply to the staff
They
of
apply
the school
To
district.
everyone, they apply to coaches, they
Yeah.
apply
Yeah.
to
So what was protected?
aides, to everything.
So some of the delineation.
Well, if I would have had this, it would have been better. This is just like,
Yeah.
First read. So
it's just basically saying that the Oregon statute now contains the verbiage, so we don't have a policy
Yes.
because it's our. But we have so many policies.
They're
You know.
I know.
Oh, GA.
And I will be real honest, my last 2 weeks have been absurd and I haven't read all of these.
No, I can't imagine.
It's sorry, I did not make this.
Well, and
It's all
like I was
helped
gonna
out
say,
right
in all reality, I might be the only one that goes to the board website and looks at policies, so.
Well, I look at them, but I just can't, I mean, when you start looking for the
Like,
word
reach out.
change and there's no yellow highlight or something, it's like, I don't have time.
I
Sorry.
know.
Like,
And all the
at least send me the change in parentheses, red, yellows.
some of those do, but not all of them. I think you're right.
I have a question about
Christus.
EVDC.
What
which
number?
is- Let me scroll way up. 7. Oh, sorry. This is the procedures. Yeah, 7 of the agenda. It says in the second paragraph that if you add something to the agenda, if it's after the agenda's been posted, we have to vote to add it. We've not been doing that. I wonder is that something that can be removed from this policy so we don't have to start doing that? Because that'll be very cumbersome.
We do vote though. Like if I made an amendment, I've noted an amendment tonight and you guys could have totally shot me down and said, no, we're not gonna approve the agenda with that modification. So we do that today.
Oh, I thought it was referring to a roll call vote, but I don't know that it says that. No, it was, I guess it just says majority vote, so in that case, I'm very comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think that, because today when we go through it, we ask for amendments or adjustments. And if we hear none, we just call it approved. We don't have to vote on it. But if we heard something, we were adding a new business, right? Or we were putting it in space where nobody's having a time to research that or even compile anything. The board could say, no, not for this meeting. We would put that on the next meeting. But the board has the right to say that.
I just feel like in the past,
It does say majority,
so we just added it and that was the end of it. The majority,
it does say a majority vote.
it doesn't say
That
vote.
mean, yeah, it doesn't say roll call.
But elsewhere, I think in another policy, it says when you vote, it has to be a roll call. Your name has to be attached to your vote.
This one was always through OSBA's guidance in that space.
I just wonder if in the past, was that in the policy that it has to be by a majority vote? I just don't want to be caught doing the wrong thing in our meetings, but I also don't want to start doing something cumbersome if we don't need to.
Or would you be, or can we get some information on that one? Is it a roll call vote or is it just a lack of concerns, like just makes it accepted?
Yeah.
And I think that is a little bit different than new business. That thing sometimes would be a Any other questions on first readings?
Can I just?
Yeah.
Addendum to what I said. So the old one is deleted, just says, when you add things to the agenda, the majority of the board just agrees to consider. It doesn't say voted on. The new one says it has to be voted on.
Okay,
So I'm worried that we're gonna be required to start actually roll call voting on additions. And I'm wondering if that can be removed from our policy so we don't have to start doing it. Because I like the old, don't have to vote on it.
I'm just wondering if it's in there because
There's been an issue.
then there's, yeah, exactly. I mean, typically they
Likely.
only put things in when there have been issues.
Okay.
I mean, it takes 30 seconds,
Yeah.
even less than that.
Yeah. It just seems cumbersome.
It is. I don't disagree with that, but at the end of the day, if somebody stays silent because we didn't ask them for a vote, like directly, versus I stayed silent because I just didn't want to speak up. Like that feels differently. So maybe we're giving a better voice in that space too.
Well, the last thing we want to mess with is public meeting law. So
Right.
that's what it's referencing as far as.
And I think that has been updated legislatively, and
Yes.
that's why this policy is being updated. Laura, I think it means we cannot mess up on the agenda.
Me.
Thanks for trying. We're on next one.
Well, but it's okay to have a last minute addition. As long as then we as a board say, yep, we accept this last minute addition.
Good catch, Storm.
Good job. Thank you. Yes. Okay. Now everybody gets another month to read all these. Oh, that was a question I was gonna ask you. Questions that come up as reading the policy and going through some of this overview. Do you want board members to email you directly and then we can just update the next meeting and discuss it up?
That's great. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be blowing up your inbox.
Okay. You're right.
Okay. Second readings, we have none. So we're on to board comments. Any board comments this evening?
I just will recuse myself from any votes that contradict federal law, state law over federal law, because I'm not a proponent of anarchy. So when it comes to the immigration enforcement, I will not be voting. Well, but no.
Okay.
So I don't think you can make an illegal situation a protected class. If you can, then we're in trouble. But that's Oregon. Just state it for the record. You.
Thank you for stating it.
Thank you.
Oh, people just don't understand. Anyway,
Other board comments?
I would like to say it was really fun to go out to Crow, watch the middle school track meet. It was beautiful weather. Going to districts this Saturday, so that'll be fun too. But weren't a lot of people out there, but there were a few. Anyway, it's fun.
Videos look, kids are doing great.
Yeah.
That's good.
Good job.
Oh, I'm doing anything with track.
Kids are happy. They need some javelin lessons.
Future agenda items. Anything for next month? I just want to call out, I think we vote on do we vote in July?
July.
We vote in July. Never mind, we'll wait till July.
The new board chairs.
Board leadership, yep. Okay.
So number two, we're
Somebody's trying to
bring up
push
the
it.
conversation. Well, that's because she can't.
I can't be a board, I guess, yeah, let me just say that for the record. I cannot be your board chair again.
She's eliminated
I'm
by
done.
time and seat.
For good reasons we have that rule, so it's on to the next. Okay, key dates. Here we go. It's a list, guys. May 19th is Sculpting Spirit Animals. May 15th, 2026-27 student registration opens. May 15th also is our first ever FFA banquet at 5:30 in our gym. May 16th at
I don't know what time.
The cow drops.
Noon is when it
May
starts.
16th at noon is when it starts. The cow drop.
We're not sure how long that will take.
And it depends upon the cow. How long it's to be here for that.
Could be 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You don't have to be here to win. We learned that today. So just come support your school if you want to. And that cow, cheer on. All right. May 20th, student registration open lab is going to be from 5 to 7 in our school library. And then on the same dates, we'll have middle school grade success event. And then we'll also have the 9th grade success event. So those are at different times in our school library.
And that middle school, it should say 6. It's for the sixth grade.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We are not going to be here on May 25th for Memorial Day. May 27th is the senior banquet at 7 p.m. in the gym. May 29th, the school will be in session. So that's Friday, right?
Mm-hmm.
June 8th to the 11th is our senior trip to Sun River. June 12th is graduation at 7 p.m. And the last day of school for our K through 11th graders is going to be June 17th.
Right around the corner.
Wow.
Yikes.
So late.
It's so late.
So late.
With that, we are adjourned at 7:25.
Look at you.
Do you have the calendar?
Go in front.
Yes.
Yeah, but I forget.
I know, it's
I think it was the
it's a little bit earlier.
14.
Thank you. Thank you guys. Yeah, I will be looking for it.